Have you ever noticed how two lawns sitting right next to each other can experience the exact same scorching summer heat, yet one stays thick, lush, and deep green, while the other slowly turns dull, dry, and lifeless? It's one of the biggest mysteries homeowners face every year. As temperatures climb, many people assume the only answer is to water more. Others rush to spread fertilizer, hoping it will revive their struggling grass. But sometimes those well-intended efforts actually make the problem worse. Recently, a simple 3-ingredient lawn mix has been making the rounds among gardeners and lawn enthusiasts. Some swear it's the secret to helping grass survive brutal summer conditions, while others dismiss it as just another internet gardening trend. So is there any real science behind it, or is it simply wishful thinking? Today on Blueprint Backyard, we're taking a close look at this viral lawn mix, explaining exactly what each ingredient does, how to prepare it properly, when it should be used, and the mistakes that could prevent it from working. By the end of this video, you'll know whether this so-called forbidden recipe deserves a place in your lawn care routine, or whether your time is better spent elsewhere. Before we even talk about the ingredients, it's important to understand what extreme heat actually does to grass. During long periods of hot weather, your lawn begins losing moisture much faster than its roots can replace it. As the soil dries, the roots struggle to absorb enough water and nutrients. The grass responds by slowing its growth to conserve energy. This is why healthy green blades gradually lose their rich color and start looking pale, grayish, or brown. In many cases, the lawn isn't actually dead, it's simply entering a protective state known as summer dormancy. The goal isn't to force grass to keep growing through extreme heat. The goal is to reduce stress so it can survive until cooler weather returns. That's where supportive treatments like the 3 ingredients we're discussing today may play a role. Let's begin with liquid seaweed, the ingredient many lawn professionals consider the real star of this recipe. Unlike traditional fertilizers, liquid seaweed isn't primarily used because it's packed with nitrogen, phosphorus, or potassium. Instead, it's valued as a plant biostimulant. Seaweed extracts contain naturally occurring compounds that can encourage healthier root systems, improve nutrient uptake, and help plants cope with environmental stresses like heat and drought. Think of it less as feeding your lawn and more as helping your grass make better use of the resources already available in the soil. Research over the past several years has shown that seaweed extracts can improve stress tolerance in many plants by supporting root growth and normal physiological processes. While it won't magically keep every lawn green through a heat wave, it can help grass recover more effectively after stressful weather, especially when combined with good watering practices. To prepare a liquid seaweed spray, always start by reading the instructions on your specific product because concentrations vary between manufacturers. Most liquid seaweed concentrates are diluted at roughly 1 to 2 ounces per gallon of water, although some products recommend slightly different rates. Fill your sprayer halfway with clean water, add the recommended amount of liquid seaweed, then top it off with the remaining water before gently mixing. Apply it evenly across the lawn during the early morning or late evening when temperatures are cooler. Avoid spraying during the hottest part of the day because rapid evaporation reduces effectiveness and can place additional stress on the grass. One mistake many homeowners make is expecting liquid seaweed to replace fertilizer. It doesn't. Although it contains small amounts of nutrients, its greatest strength is helping grass manage stress rather than supplying everything a lawn needs for rapid growth. If your grass is suffering from a nitrogen deficiency, liquid seaweed alone won't solve that problem. Think of it as a support system rather than a complete feeding program. When paired with healthy soil, proper irrigation, and sensible mowing, it can become a valuable part of your summer lawn care routine. Now let's move to the second ingredient in this viral recipe, plain cornstarch. This is where the internet becomes divided. You'll find countless videos claiming that cornstarch traps moisture in the soil, strengthens grass, or creates a protective barrier that helps lawns survive extreme heat. Others argue it does very little. So what does the evidence actually suggest? Cornstarch is made almost entirely of starch, a carbohydrate derived from corn.
It isn't a fertilizer because it doesn't provide significant amounts of nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, or other essential nutrients. Instead, the idea behind using small amounts of cornstarch is that once it breaks down, soil microorganisms can feed on the organic carbon it provides. Healthy microbial activity contributes to a healthier soil ecosystem, which indirectly benefits your lawn. However, this isn't an overnight process, and it's certainly not a miracle cure for heat stress.
If you decide to use cornstarch, make sure it's plain, unflavored cornstarch. Avoid products with seasonings, salt, artificial flavorings, or other additives. Those ingredients are intended for cooking, not for your lawn, and they can do more harm than good when introduced into the soil. A common way gardeners prepare this ingredient is by dissolving about 1 to 2 tablespoons of plain cornstarch per gallon of water. Because cornstarch doesn't dissolve easily in cold water, it's best to first mix it into a small amount of warm water until it forms a smooth slurry. Once there are no lumps, pour it into your sprayer or watering can and add the remaining water. Stir or shake the mixture well before and during application, because starch tends to settle at the bottom over time. Apply the mixture evenly over the lawn, rather than soaking one area. The goal isn't to coat the grass with a thick layer. A light, even application is sufficient. Early morning remains the best time because cooler temperatures reduce evaporation and give the soil more time to absorb moisture. It's also important to manage expectations. If your lawn is brown because it hasn't received enough water for weeks, cornstarch won't suddenly restore its color. Likewise, if the soil is severely compacted or the roots are unhealthy, adding starch won't solve those underlying issues. This ingredient should be viewed as a possible supporting component of an overall lawn care strategy, not as the reason your grass stays green all summer.
Another mistake people make is assuming that more is better. Excessive amounts of cornstarch can leave sticky residues, especially if it's applied heavily or not properly diluted. Instead of helping the lawn, over-application may interfere with water movement on the soil surface or encourage unwanted microbial imbalances. As with many lawn treatments, moderation is far more effective than excess. One practical tip that many experienced lawn enthusiasts recommend is watering lightly after applying the mixture if rain isn't expected. This helps move the solution from the grass blades down toward the soil surface, where beneficial soil organisms and the root zone can make better use of it. However, avoid overwatering immediately afterward. Saturated soil deprives roots of oxygen and creates a different set of problems, particularly during periods of high heat. You can see the real strength of this recipe starts becoming clear now. Neither liquid seaweed nor cornstarch is intended to force rapid growth during summer. Instead, both are aimed at helping the lawn cope with stress while maintaining healthier soil and stronger roots. But there's one more ingredient in this viral recipe, and it's probably the most misunderstood of them all: Epsom salt. Now let's talk about the ingredient that usually gets the most attention in this recipe: Epsom salt. If you've spent any time on lawn care forums or watched DIY gardening videos, you've probably heard people claim that Epsom salt is the reason their grass suddenly became greener. While there is some truth behind those stories, the full explanation is far more interesting than simply sprinkling a little salt on your lawn. Epsom salt is chemically known as magnesium sulfate. It contains two nutrients, magnesium and sulfur. Magnesium is especially important because it's one of the central building blocks of chlorophyll, the green pigment that allows grass to capture sunlight and produce energy through photosynthesis. Without enough magnesium, grass may lose some of its rich green color and struggle to grow as vigorously as it should. Sulfur also plays a role by supporting protein formation and helping plants make better use of nitrogen. However, here's what many viral videos leave out. Not every lawn is deficient in magnesium. If your soil already contains adequate magnesium, adding more won't necessarily make your lawn greener. In some cases, repeatedly applying Epsom salt can upset the balance of other nutrients in the soil. That's why many lawn experts recommend using it as a supplement rather than a routine replacement for balanced lawn fertilization. For most home lawn applications, a common dilution is 2 tablespoons of Epsom salt per gallon, 3.8 liters, of water. Pour the water into your sprayer first, add the Epsom salt, and stir or shake until every crystal has dissolved. Never leave undissolved crystals sitting at the bottom because they won't be distributed evenly across the lawn. One important recommendation before you start mixing anything: avoid combining all 3 ingredients into a single sprayer unless the manufacturer of your liquid seaweed states it's compatible with the other products. While all 3 are commonly used in lawn care, they serve different purposes, and mixing them together may reduce their effectiveness or create an unstable solution. Instead, prepare each ingredient separately using its own recommended dilution rate. Mix liquid seaweed according to the label instructions, which is commonly 1 to 2 ounces per gallon, 3.8 liters, of water, then apply it evenly over the lawn. Prepare plain cornstarch by first dissolving 1 to 2 tablespoons in a small amount of warm water to form a smooth slurry. Then add it to 1 gallon of water, stir thoroughly, and apply. For Epsom salt, dissolve 2 tablespoons in 1 gallon of water, making sure the crystals are completely dissolved before spraying. Apply each treatment separately, allowing enough time between applications, ideally on different days, or at least after the previous application has dried and been absorbed. This approach gives each product the best chance to do its job, and also makes it easier to observe how your lawn responds to each treatment individually.
Now comes one of the most important questions. When should you apply this mixture? Timing matters almost as much as the ingredients themselves. The best time is early in the morning, ideally between 6 a.m. and 9 a.m. At this time, temperatures are cooler, evaporation is lower, and the grass still has the entire day to absorb moisture and beneficial compounds before the afternoon heat arrives. If mornings aren't possible, your second best option is late evening, roughly between 6:30 p.m. and sunset, once the intense heat has started to fade. However, avoid spraying too late at night if your lawn tends to stay damp for many hours, since prolonged leaf moisture can encourage fungal diseases in some climates. One time you should never apply this mixture is during the hottest part of the day, especially between 11 a.m. and 4 p.m. Under intense sunshine, much of the water evaporates quickly, reducing effectiveness and placing additional stress on already struggling grass. How often should you use it? In most cases, once every 2 to 4 weeks during periods of summer heat is more than enough. Applying it every few days won't make your lawn greener faster. In fact, overuse can create unnecessary nutrient imbalances and waste both time and money. After spraying, avoid watering immediately unless your lawn is extremely dry. Give the mixture about 2 to 4 hours to remain on the grass and move into the soil. If rain is expected within the next few hours, it's usually better to wait for another day so your application isn't washed away before it has a chance to work. It's also important to remember that even the best lawn treatment cannot overcome poor lawn care habits. If you're mowing your grass too short during summer, you're making it much harder for the lawn to survive. Slightly raising your mower height allows the longer blades to shade the soil, reducing moisture loss and keeping the root zone cooler. Likewise, watering deeply once or twice a week is generally more beneficial than giving the lawn a light sprinkle every day. Deep watering encourages roots to grow farther into the soil, making the grass much more resilient when hot weather arrives. So, is this 3-ingredient recipe a miracle? No, but when it's used correctly, at the right time of day, in the right quantities, and combined with proper mowing and watering, it can become a useful part of a complete summer lawn care routine rather than just another viral internet trick.
Even with the right recipe and perfect timing, there are a few mistakes that can completely cancel out the benefits. One of the biggest is applying the mixture to a lawn that's already severely drought-stressed. If your grass is crispy, curled, and the soil is bone dry several inches below the surface, don't reach for the sprayer first. Give the lawn deep watering and allow it to recover for a day before applying the treatment. Grass under extreme water stress simply isn't in the best condition to absorb nutrients or benefit from biostimulants. Another mistake is assuming that every brown lawn is suffering from heat stress. Brown patches can also be caused by fungal diseases, chinch bugs, grubs, pet urine, compacted soil, or poor drainage. If only small sections of your lawn are turning brown while the rest remains healthy, investigate the underlying cause before applying any treatment. This 3-ingredient mix isn't designed to solve insect infestations or lawn diseases. Don't forget about your irrigation schedule either. One of the best ways to help your lawn survive summer is by watering deeply rather than frequently. A good goal is to provide your lawn with about 1 to 1.5 inches, 2.5 to 3.8 centimeters of water per week, including rainfall. Instead of watering every day for a few minutes, water less often but for longer periods. This encourages roots to grow deeper into the soil, making the grass much more resistant to heat and drought. Your mowing habits matter just as much. During extreme summer weather, avoid cutting more than 1/3 of the grass blade at a time. Raising your mower height slightly allows the taller grass to shade the soil, keeping it cooler and reducing moisture loss. Those longer blades also continue producing energy through photosynthesis, helping the lawn recover faster after periods of stress. Here's another professional tip that's often overlooked. Leave the grass clippings on the lawn whenever possible. This practice, known as grass cycling, returns small amounts of nutrients back to the soil and helps conserve moisture. As long as the clippings are short and evenly distributed, they won't create thatch. Instead, they'll naturally break down and contribute organic matter to the soil. If you want to get the very best results from this 3-ingredient treatment, here's a simple summer schedule you can follow. Step 1. Mow the lawn 1 day before application, keeping the grass slightly taller than usual. Step 2. Check the weather forecast and choose a day with no heavy rain expected for at least 24 hours. Step 3. Mix the solution using the recommended quantities and apply it early in the morning between 6 and 9 a.m. or in the early evening after the day's peak heat has passed. Step 4. Allow the solution to remain on the lawn for 2 to 4 hours before watering, unless rain is expected. Step 5. Repeat the application every 2 to 4 weeks during prolonged hot weather if your lawn continues experiencing heat stress. Remember, this isn't a replacement for proper fertilization, healthy soil, or good watering habits. Think of it as a supportive treatment that may help your lawn better cope with summer stress when used alongside sound lawn care practices. So, does this so-called forbidden 3-ingredient recipe actually work? The answer is yes, but with realistic expectations. Liquid seaweed has research supporting its role as a plant biostimulant that can improve stress tolerance. Epsom salt can be beneficial if your lawn is lacking magnesium, but it's not something every lawn needs. Cornstarch has the least scientific evidence of the 3 and should be viewed as an optional addition rather than the ingredient that makes or breaks the recipe. The real secret behind a lush, green summer lawn isn't hidden in a bucket or a spray bottle. It's understanding what your grass needs before it reaches the point of stress. When you combine proper mowing, deep watering, healthy soil, and carefully chosen treatments like this one, your lawn has a much better chance of staying greener through even the hottest weeks of summer. If you decide to try this recipe, start with a small test area first and observe the results over the next couple of weeks before treating your entire lawn. Every yard is different. Soil type, grass species, climate, and watering habits all influence how well any lawn treatment performs. Testing first is the safest way to see how your lawn responds. Thank you for watching Blueprint Backyard. If you found this research helpful and enjoy practical lawn care tips backed by real information rather than hype, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next backyard guide. We'd also love to hear from you in the comments. Have you ever tried this 3-ingredient lawn mix, or do you have another summer lawn trick that works even better? Your experience could help other homeowners keep their lawns healthy all season long. Until next time, keep building a backyard you'll be proud of.